But when I engage the smooth, they go away. With a hybrid combination of highly detailed impulse response and DSP, Wave Alchemy recreated an absolute legend, arguably the most faithful recreation to date of the classic AMS RMX16 reverb. It's called Glow. Let's take a look at it. Let's jump right into it. Such a classic unit, the RMX16 reverb. This new plugin Glow not only is scary close to the original unit, but they added a whole bunch of features that makes it arguably even better. First of all, we have 4 themes for this plugin: the classic black, the studio blue, the phantom gray, and the radical pink, which I personally love. We also have on this tab the delay sync to sync this delay here, the pre-delay of the reverb, to your host. Controls are very simple: in and out, pre-delay, low, air, flux, which I'll explain you what that does in a second, and then smooth and duck slider and a mix knob. We also have this mother button right here, which gives a more radio ready sound for the effect. It is pretty straightforward, but this thing has definitely some tricks up its sleeve. First of all, the algorithms that we have ambience, freeze, hall, image, nonlinear, classic nonlinear sound from the RMX, plate, reverse, which we're gonna hear because it's another one of those algorithms that made this reverb so popular, especially during the 80s, and then 3 rooms. Next to the algorithm, we have H1468, which will change based on the main algorithm that you select. You can see here it's changing. And then here we have the length of our reverb, the decay. I really want to show you guys how the sound of the reverb itself changes when we change this parameter here, the H parameter, and also the smooth, which was one of the things that impressed me the most about this reverb. You will hear how the individual very short delays that are used in reverbs, any reverb, really get smoothed out, and we don't have that metallic feeling that we very often have with digital delays. You will hear this especially on drums, but let's start with some examples on vocals.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes. What else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. I will give you this life that I'm in if you show me the other side.
So first thing you hear as we go down high in number with the H parameter, the reverb gets darker and smoother.
I stand outside in the rain, I take the physical pain. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want.
All right, we hear immediately the duck is of course self-explanatory. It ducks the reverb when the dry signal is present, but you heard already how the stereo image and the modulation changes when I engage the flux. This is a unique control that combines a little bit of chorus, a little bit of stereo widening, a custom randomized EQ, and it really helps with the stereo image of the effect. Let's go to plate.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes. What else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
Let's make it a little longer and I'll start showing you the smooth and what it does.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes. What else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
Okay, you don't hear anymore the individual very short delays in the reverb, especially the earlier reflection, but it's smoother as it says on the tin. Let's do reverbs really quick and then we go immediately to drums.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes. What else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
Again, such a classic effect. And just to take a quick listen to the modern button, this is a feature that was not present in the original unit. They just added to it, and it just gives a different EQ, which should help fit in the effect in the mix. But again, it's not a given, just an alternative type of EQ that you have as an option.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it that much. Anyway, it's there and is an option. Let's go to a drum now. All right, I'm gonna do an extreme example to really show you this smooth feature and how well it works. We are in reverse mode 1, H0, 5 seconds, the top end cranked and a little bit of pre-delay. Without the smooth, you will hear that effect that we don't always want of this very short clutter repeats, okay, especially on transient material. But when I engage the smooth, they go away. And if you go to the reverse 2, which is more of that classic sound that we heard in so many records, I think this is the best example so you really can hear the smooth in action. But since we are on drums, let's take a listen to some of the other algorithm on transient material as well, and I'll keep playing with these controls. There's again creeping out the early reflections that, again, they're not bad. We use them, but sometimes you do want to get rid of them, especially if we want to do like a dedicated reverb for kicks. I often find myself not wanting to hear that flam. Listen to how well this works. Really cool. Let's listen to a synth, for example, and let's change color. Let's go back to the pink. It is so smooth, and listen to the tail. I love the Hall algorithms on synths especially. Before we continue, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and if you really want to learn how to mix and master professionally, click the join button down here, become a MixBus TV member and access the already big and always growing library of full mixing courses start to finish, mastering courses on many different genres and a lot more. And if the videos are helping you, please consider using the super thanks and support the channel, and keep an eye out for the next live mixing class. Those are one-offs and tickets are limited. Let's get back to the video. Reverse again. It is a classic for a reason, and great timing for them to drop this plugin, because with the 80s aesthetic in music making a comeback, it's perfect. Let's change the theme for this one. It's not just great for synths or drum machines and drum, it is also good for acoustic instruments. Let's try on an acoustic guitar. You hear with a mid-length between 1 and 2 seconds on some of the algorithms, especially the rooms, it really fuses with the original song. It becomes part of it. Even if we have a higher decay, it doesn't sound like it. That's one of the characteristics of this effect, which I really like. If you notice just one thing, I always tend to lower my input in all the examples, because you don't want to clip the input of this plugin. So pay attention to the signal you feed to this plugin. The plugin, of course, comes with a bunch of really cool preset and classic presets from the original unit. Again, 80s drums, as we said, drum room, classic effects for vocals, but also a randomizer here that just picks one for you. And I didn't mention it so far, but you also have a gate here. So again, if you want to do some special effects on drums, there's a gate built in. I want to finish this example with female vocals and hear how they sound on them.
Well, my boyfriend's in a band. He plays guitar while I sing the reed. I've got feathers in my hair. I get down to be poetry. And my jazz collection's rare. I can play most anything. Well, my boyfriend's in a band. He plays guitar. Well, my boyfriend's in a band. He plays guitar while I sing the reed. I've got feathers in my hair. I get down to be poetry. And my jazz collection's rare. I can play most anything. I'm a Brooklyn baby. I'm a Brooklyn baby.
Really cool effect. I wish I had an original unit to compare. This thing sounds pretty darn close to the original unit. It definitely delivers that vibe. I love the halts. I love the two classic non-lean and the reverbs. And there's a good news. There's a 10% discount if you want this plugin. Now the code is this one, and I'm gonna put it in the description down below. 10% off if you wanna get Wave Alchemy Glow. And this is it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like. Join the channel as a member if you want to access the exclusive content. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe. See you next time.